Alrighty, let's get started. Welcome, welcome. Howdy ho, everyone. So, I've got home brewery set up here. This is actually what I've been using to make my Mistaya adventure guide, which so far is just this. But I sort of realized that I kind of need to redo all of that stuff so I can touch up all the maps and everything again. Because it's really wild to think that I made that tier map and then I put it back in the Goblin Squad war room thing there before, but I had made that first one back in 2021. Then I came back to it when we started in 2022, and I've made a lot of city maps since then. I haven't made as many world maps. World maps really bother me a lot. They are sort of like, there's so many things you have to take into consideration if you want it to feel and look like a good world. Long live Missport indeed. Welcome, Becky. But there's just considerations you have to make, like water and tectonics and all sorts of stuff. So figured I would retouch up on that and then come back to this project a little bit later, especially once I'm a little closer to planning for tier stuff, because at the rate that the planning's happening, I'm I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. Hey Martin, welcome. But anywho, we've got this here. So the home brewery is pretty cool. Bears, welcome, JB. Yeah, I was just showing the Missport settlement adventure guide that I was working on, but I think I gotta come back to this. Especially like the thing with these projects that I hate is I gotta learn how to do this stuff, like code and stuff, and get sample images and figure out why my picture of Mistaya that I was trying to put here would only come up in fill mode, and oh boy, troubleshooting code is the worst. But for simple stuff like what we're doing today, which is making items, which it dawned on me too, I was like, man, why haven't I ever thought about making a book of items? Because item making is really one of my passions. One of my I think one of the things that attracts me the most about D&D, D&D in particular, as opposed to other systems, one of the things D&D does good is its use of magic items to customize your character's build, if we say it quote unquote like that. And that customization with items can be so great. And I feel like there are so many characters and heroes, influences that we can think of who the figures themselves may be interesting characters, but we all remember their items. They're iconic. King Arthur was a great king, but he had Excalibur, and that weapon, is what won him those battles. Batman has his batarangs, Spider-Man has his web slingers, even Wolverine, he's got his adamantine claws. Captain America's got his shield, Thor's got Mjolnir. There are so many cases in fiction of items that modify a character, or a character who's just in possession of a rare item or something unique. Harry Potter with the cloak of invisibility, and being in possession of that item, and amongst many other things. Wonder Woman and her invisible and her visible jet, her lasso of truth, her tiara. The list goes on and on and on. There are so many uh, characters that are like that, and D&D, man, this music is so intense right now. The struggle of like trying to find always custom. Oh wait, you know what? I forgot about that. We have on that website, Martin. Hold on. Hold on. So we could. Sorry, y'all. Uh, Music is also very important for my creative process. I I need something going, and the struggle of copyright music. Oh boy, never thought something I thought I'd have to contend with. But hold on, this may be loud at first. Okay. Okay. Better. Um, Game Chops, their music is license free, and they've got a Legend of Zelda jazz mix, which is pretty dang good. So we got that. So where was I? Oh yeah, so items, iconic, very important, and D&D kind of really makes that more of their thing than a lot of other systems do. Like Pathfinder, does as well in a way. Um, but as I'm sure you guys have experienced, a single item can like drastically change your character. Intelligence, who wears a headband of intelligence, or like the fighter with low strength who wears like the. I love it. It's like if I was in a nice Hyrule casino lobby. Yes, it is very much like that. But yeah, so there's many like different cases of items. Like the fighter who has like low strength, but they have the gauntlets of ogre power. So I love making items. I love making unique items. I love them doing fun things. Okay. So I'll go back here. Okay. So this thing's great. If you've ever used Homebrewery before, it's awesome. They've got plenty of stuff that's like kind of keeps in line with already the formatting of like typical D&D writing. So if I was making a spell, I can just like fill it in here, and change it up and just be like, nope, it's illusion. Oh, Aladdin. Illusion? Does illusion have one S? Two L's, one S. Yeah, so it's a pretty nifty tool. So today I wanted to make a variety of items, but I wanted to make items. I wanted to focus on items that either A, do not require attunement, or B, are common in rarity. And this is a real tricky place to play in. Attunement is typically put on any item that would have insanely broken effects if it was able to be easily transferred amongst the party, right? Like a ring of regeneration, that could be passed around to everybody, could really be effective at getting everybody to full health, or just a variety of items that can be beneficial to everybody, or anything that you don't want to be able to stack highly with other abilities. So if this is the kind of item that has charges, if this is the kind of item that has like more than 2 or 3 abilities, then you typically want it to have attunement. And then there's other like little like design things that you also might want to consider, like if this item is combined with other items, and is it limited in that way? If it's free to be combined with every single item, what potential combinations could you make? And so this kind of like theory crafting, uh, honestly, I got a lot of experience with this. Hey, Mike, thanks for the follow. Um, I had a lot of experience with this, like spending a lot of time on Reddit and on Unearthed Arcana. If you've ever been on that Reddit site, there's a lot of people who throw out like items and monsters and feats and species and class features and things like that out there. Um, Training to remove attunement mechanic is a fun middle ground. Yeah, I felt like that's also a good way to have an item that's like you could work towards something where you wear this item and like it becomes part of your kit because you've familiarized yourself with it enough that you no longer need that attunement. Kind of just feels right in a way. Um, but yeah, so I kind of want to make some items that don't require attunement. So if you guys have got any ideas, feel free to toss them out. But I essentially am trying to think also of common items. There are plenty of like uncommon items and above that are out there, that are pretty useful. Yeah, nothing would separate you from an item like that once you got it, right? Yeah, exactly. Like if you get an item that doesn't require attunement, then it's like, okay, we gotta assume this item's gonna be part of the kit then forever, you know? So that's something you gotta consider as a DM. But what do y'all think? Any ideas? The non-attunement items. So the other thing is too, you might want to think of it like a modifier. I might have an item that's like, uh, it's common, if it requires attunement, but taking that away that attunement, I might say that it's like a more uncommon item. So we could throw out like a rare or an uncommon item idea too. Um, but any thoughts? Any ideas? Any places to start? We give some example of some both common and some non-attunement items. But I had a job. Dishes that clean themselves. Yes, that's a good one. um, I had a job in which had a lot of downtime, and I would just do my job very quickly, and then spend a lot of time on Reddit, and theory craft, and read about stuff, and um, spend so much time reading about arguments in the chat about bounded accuracy, which I'm not even sure is a thing that exists anymore. It's really interesting. But a common item, a bead of refreshment is common. Boots of false tracks. A lot of things that do cosmetic things are common items. So definitely a pair, a set of dishes that wash themselves. I'm trying to think of the how the party traverses with these all together. But yeah, let's see what else we got. Common. Well, charlatans die. Whenever you roll this six-sided die, you can control which number it rolls. That is interesting. And then let's look at some items that don't require attunement that maybe are a little more common. A bedroll that inflates. Would this be like a safety thing, or maybe like a if it hits water, it floats? like an air mattress. So just a more comfortable bedroll. Paper armor of folding. That's actually close to what we're looking for. Let's see. Bedroll of inflating. Does not require attunement. Common. Wondrous. 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 Yes, wondrous item. D&D is also such like a legalese like game too, where like the verbiage, the way everything's said like matters so much. This bedroll inflates to a comfortable mattress that floats when you use the command word. When you take a short rest on this mattress, heal max restore the maximum amount of hit points on the first hit dice used. Bedroll of inflating. And there you go. Common item. Which is like a little nifty thing someone could pull out and be like, bam, I got this thing. And everyone would be a little jealous. And when it comes up and you're like, oh, we took a short rest and I got, especially for Barbarian, the first one they get, 12 back. Pretty nifty little thing. But yeah, awesome. Poison testing rod. Place it in food or drink to look for poison. Finds poison of a DC 18 or lower. Interesting. They can make it like a consumable. Manually. Let's make this more the verse themed. So how about the poison test capsule? I guess would this be wondrous consumable too? Oh, that didn't work. Oh, because of this. There we go. Hold on. Okay, so we could do an uncommon poison test capsule. When dropped into a beverage. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to also to be able to detect poisons though with an item. I think I'd rather put it as an uncommon consumable. It's a great idea still. That would at least be just a simple like can detect if this item's poison, as opposed to being able to detect a certain amount or not. Because there's also like poisons and things that do not need to enter that way. Dropped into a food or beverage can be used. Let's see. Dropped into a food or beverage can be also will begin to change color after 1 minute if the beverage is poisoned. Capsule remains inert otherwise. Remains inert otherwise? No. Capsule then dissolves. It's a one-time use. So you drop it in your drink. You take a minute, wait a minute there, see if it's poisoned or not. The capsule then dissolves. And there's also that minute too where you're like, you know, maybe the person's like, hey, why aren't you drinking your drink? You know, and then you're like, just buying time. Okay, so datapad camera enhancement records text written in common. Like OCR. You mean like it would record text and then copy it into like your datapad? Interesting. I want to make sure. Or do you mean like a sort of speech to text, but like image to text? Oh wait, I missed that one. Whistle of rescue. Super loud whistle. Heard for a few miles. Pop-up carriage. Oh, that's a good one. Like a foldable cart. But like, oh, I see what you're saying. I don't know if that would be common though. Like not take a photo, but just the text image of writing. I think Eli has something, some kind of scanner or something that's like that. Breakfast of Champions. Hey Lou. A peanut butter and good berry jam sandwich that increases your critical hit rate by 1 for the next hour. That's definitely not common. Interesting. The quad quarter. Yeah, I think that is a thing that exists, JB. I gotta check. This handheld scanning device has 4 prominent sensors. The device measures and displays many of the object's intrinsic properties, including temperature, density, boiling point, freezing point, conductivity, and viscosity. Wow, what an interesting set of parameters. I like the pop-up carriage. What would the verse version be? Oh, I love this version of the song. It's a good question, Jamie. Because I feel like pop-up sidecar. feel like a pop-up carriage is definitely. Because what is the foldable boat? Not foldable boat. Isn't the foldable cart? Isn't there a foldable cart thing? Or is that just something made up? No, it's gotta be, right? Foldable cart? Okay, I guess. Yeah, we need some space travel related commons. So what would be the verse version of a car? Sidecar? Still need a cow or a horse or something. But I do agree, we need more space themed items. Breakfast of Champions feels like definitely a rare consumable. I wouldn't say for an hour, I'd say like 10 minutes increase of crit range. Because noise canceling has such a the versus does need some of those headphones. The items that Dana made were in the vault. The Nyx headphones that of deafness. Dark Matter does have the hoverboard. Yes, I'm surprised nobody's been hoverboarding it out. But I guess I did have a one wheel. It was very fun, but at the same time, I also felt like once I no longer had health insurance through my employer, I was like, this is way too dangerous. I am way too old to be doing this. If I fall now, it's gonna be bad. Those came in handy for how often we encounter chasms. Chasmes? That's great. Hoverboard is nice. It's a rare though. I'm poor. How about? All right. So let me see. What does the hoverboard do? Exactly. Hoverboard. Okay. Rare, 3 foot long metal. Blah 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 blah. You can mount or dismount as a bonus action. While mounted, you ignore non-magical difficult terrain and can move about the surface of the vicinity. In addition, if you move at least 15 feet in a line downhill in your turn, your speed increases by 10 feet until the end of your turn. Can't scale more than 45 degrees. In zero gravity, you can move any surface. And you can make tricks. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think I've got an idea. I love all the little items it makes up though. They're so funny. All right. Holds you in space for 5 minutes. I guess this is also, man, so many wondrous items. Okay, I don't know if I could make this common and not require attunement. Hover skates. They will be just as dangerous as they sound. These shoes with metal. What do you call them? Things, soles. Produce. I'm just gonna copy some of the text there. Produces a low hum. Produce a low hum and curiously hover above any surface. You cannot mount or dismount these. I'd say. Oh, Panda Klaus leveled up. Sounds like a legendary item. Star Lords? No, that's different. Those would be Star Lords, like jet boots. These I imagine more like, has anybody seen the My Hero Academy vigilantes. Um, no spoilers, but their main character, he has this like weird friction bubble power kind of thing. Oh, here actually. Oh, how do I even? Okay, let's see. How do I get this? This guy here. He's got these like, see the rings on his hands? They basically let him float, almost slide actually across the ground. He can like control friction with them. It's a really great power because it's like not super strong. Do ships have showers? They do have showers, yeah. It's not a super strong power, but he's able to use it effectively sliding around, like if he's wearing skates. I know there's bathrooms. I assume there's a shower. Pop-up tables and chairs. That's also really good too. But something about sliding around on the floor sounds very appealing to me. I'm not gonna have the speed increase. I'm gonna say while mounted. We'll do the same thing here. While mounted, you ignore non-magical difficult terrain and can move above the surface of liquids without sinking. But to keep it common, I don't know, kind of feel like it'd just be difficult to. If I require a check every turn, that's just going to be super annoying. If they can't be used effectively, then they'll never be used. Limited battery per day. That's not bad. Okay, so how about this? These shoes with metal soles produce a low hum and can curiously hover above any surface. Once per midnight. While wearing these shoes, you can ignore non-magical difficult terrain and move above the surface of liquids without sinking for 10 minutes. So if you don't have boots, maybe your character wears a pair of these. And then we'll add the rest. Now I feel better about adding some of the rest of the other stuff there. I have to replace board for shoes. Shoes. Should have said skates. Should have said skates this whole time. But I am imagining them. I guess I am going to call them hover shoes. Weird items. As they are just shoes then with like a mat with a metal sole. And that lets them hover around. Once per midnight while wearing these shoes, you can ignore non-magicals, right? No action used. They just begin to activate. For 10 minutes, you can slide around. instant attorney holographic projection that answers legal questions. That opens me up to too much legal liability. Because then I gotta actually answer these questions. Oh, hey, Judy. I actually have still not gotten the app back. I just still have it connected. I'm just streaming on Twitch, which is hilarious. But thanks. Good to see you. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I miss any things. Yeah, you had the quad core pop-up carriage. Okay, so we talked about pop-up carriage. I came out with hover shoes. I feel like that wasn't quite the idea we were looking for. But I feel like with the year, this one, the hologram, must be Allegheny. Of course, it must be Allegheny. Noise canceling headphones. Yeah, I want something that is a little more space themed. Anti-gravity capsule. That's actually pretty nifty. I don't know if I would say that's maybe like a what is a feather fall thing? Let me see here. Feather. Ball's feather token. Wait, heck, which one is it? Wait, isn't it? Charm of feather falling. Ball's feather token. Is it not in the DMG? Ring of Feather Falling is rare, requires attunement. Bird of... No, that's a totally different thing. Lionel Hutz of Hologram Attorney. Wow, that's crazy. It's not under qual. I checked. Anchor, bird. But let me see here, actually. We'll use... Featherfall token is Amberon. Ah, that's why. That's why I'm looking at the other thing. Let's see. So that one was common. Let's see if this still feels strong for common though. I guess not strong for common Amberon though. How about this? I do like the anti-gravity idea though. Anti-gravity. I'm thinking of like an emergency button you press. Anti-gravity module. And you could build it into your life suit. Well, 5 minutes is still a really long time, and there's also like a bunch of ways that could be exploded over the course of 5 minutes. Exploited over the course of 5 minutes for a common item that could be really strong. Um, but I think a item that instead like cancels the effects of gravity in your space. I think like a life suit module could be one that like you press the button and like your character is unaffected by gravity until the start of their next turn. I feel like that's a little more reasonable for a common item because it'd be one, it would be attached to your life suit. But two, it also feels a little more sense for the verse where like maybe you step out and it's a place of like high gravity and you're dealing with it's a little bit more versatile in that sense as opposed to just featherfall, and that at least gives you to the start of your next turn to be like, okay, I gotta think about what I'm doing here. And then can like, or maybe someone else can like try to reach you and grab you, because the featherfall of like, I also always hate so much to nullify, maybe put a weight limit on it. Yeah, that is true. But if it is just like you maybe if it's to your life suit, then we could put it as the wearer and any objects that they are carrying, because then we get into like a weirder range, a weirder issue of how much does Mr. T weigh and with his armor versus how much does Griff weigh with his armor. But at least if it's just for the creature and the items that they are carrying or wearing or carrying, then at least that removes like, okay, I don't know, like I would, if I'm not under the effects of gravity, but Fina is, then Fina's falling would push me if I'm under her, if that makes sense. The nullifier is 2,000 pounds, yeah. But the nullifier also so the nullifier is just a permanent levitate spell essentially. Which is still pretty crazy for an uncommon item, I swear. Whereas this is just till the start of your next turn. So I don't really imagine there being as many opportunities. Time person. The manipulator. There is the manipulator and the gadgeteer. Oh yes, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The nullifier is like basically unlimited levitation. So it makes sense that they would have like a limit of weight, but this being tied to like you and your life suit, a module. Plus, I also like the idea. I want to make more items that affect the life suits. We had some of the life suits that we made the other day, that we got at the Citadel. These life suits had like more. Like there was the one that had like the helmet could be tapped, and the helmet would just like. Just fold up, so you wouldn't have to be carrying your helmet around. There was another one like customized clothing items, like options that they went with. So I want to make more items that are more interacting with your life suits, like maybe a set of we were talking about this the other day. It makes sense that like some of your life suits would have like emergency like thrusters for when you're in zero gravity only. Like they wouldn't be very effective for you like on land in like normal gravity, but maybe in zero gravity it's enough that it could like, you know, you have a movement speed of 5 with this module on your life suit, you know. A multiple helmet that fits Mr. T. Yeah, he's got to have custom helmets every time. But yeah, let's get some ideas that are some items that are like, I think we got a decent amount of little common items. I'm gonna finish these anti-gravity ones, but like items that interact with your suit, your life suits. Nothing too crazy, because your life suit also like is in armor. So also think like, you know, you are wearing armor on top of that, so it can't have any armor like effects. But kind of thinking of the things that your life suits do, um, or life suits you've seen like and stuff in TV shows. Life suit repair tape, life suit self repair. That'd be pretty good. Um, let's see. Common module. Let's see. This module is installed a life suit. As a reaction, the wearer of the suit can, oh, I should scroll on this side. Wearer of the suit can nullify the effects of gravity on themselves, any objects they are carrying and wearing until the start of their next turn. As a reaction, I could specify it more. As a reaction, when experiencing fluctuating gravity. So whether there's high gravity, low gravity, someone casting reverse gravity, someone casting intensified gravity, you could just be like, ah, no, I'm not going to be affected until the start of your next turn. Life suit with built-in movie screen right in front of your face. Oh man. So I started watching Silo. Really good show. Definitely a great recommendation. There was one scene though where they have a character and you can see they're wearing a helmet, but you can tell they want you to see the character, the actor beneath the helmet. So they kind of like just displayed it onto the helmet itself, onto the glass. So his face was like a little stretched out to fit. It was very interesting. But great show. Makes an emergency repair that gives 5 8. So this would be for the suit or for the person? That gives it 5 extra HP for 1 minute? The suit extra HP? I thought you meant like a life suit. Kind of like the amulet of is it the amulet? The cloak? No. What's the thing that you guys would always give to new people? Suit. Oh, for the suit. Okay. What was it you always give to new people? Keep them alive. The suits can be damaged. Yeah. No, that is totally valid. You just got me thinking about life suits that can provide emergency healing. That's why. Let's move this. It's gonna change it from wondrous item to life suit module, and we'll just create a class of items called life suit module. Let's see. Still got 20 more minutes of music, so we'll do that much more making items. And we'll see cat ear life suits would be common. I bet you that's just a customization. You know, you just can get the cat ears things, and I'm pretty sure that's simple enough Same way I'm pretty sure there's people walking around like Daft Punk, or people walking around like what was the other one? Mouse, Dead Mouse. People walking around like that. Guarantee it. But yeah, I like that. 2, 3, 4. Anti-gravity module. What is this one be? Life suit repair module. This module is installed in a life suit. When taking damage that would destroy the life suit. No. It's not like the whole thing gets destroyed. But it is technically expanding its damage threshold. Okay. That would breach the life suit. This module is activated, expending its role of what is it called? Repair tape. To close the breach. This restores 5 HP to the life suit and dysfunctions? No. And what is the word I'm thinking of? Expends. This restores 5 HP to the life suit and blanks the module. It doesn't like destroy the module. Deactivates the module. Life suit potion circulator. Deliver the potion to a life suit. Might be more uncommon. Yeah. Maybe like a life suit receptacle. Because then I feel like that would have to be one that's more like it would deliver it a little automatically. Depletes. Stores 5 HP to the life suit and no longer functions. I feel like there's a better word for that, but that's what we'll go with for now. Text, we'll go to new page. Life suit locator beacon. Life suit potion circulator. There was an item I saw recently that was really cool. Renders the module useless. That's the verbiage I'm looking for. Thank you, Jimmy. Red nurse. There was an item I saw recently that was really, really interesting, and it was it was part of one of Dark Matter's, like, Dark Matter has a bunch of really cool stuff out there. Their website went down the other day. I was trying to look up some stuff. But it was a spell that allowed you to tee up 3 other spells and cast them all at once as one action. Definitely sounds super broken. But what was really cool was that, like, it had limitations based on if you use a 2nd level spell slot, a 3rd level spell slot, you could do 1st level spells. But if you think about it, you could spend a 3rd level spell slot and then pick 3 1st level spells like Cure Wounds, and cast Cure Wounds 3 times in a row at once as an action. Which, with the current, hit healing amounts, would be pretty crazy. But it still would cost you a 3rd level spell and 3 1st level spell slots. So I don't know how the math works out, but it definitely seems like an interesting thing. But what about a suit module that is like kind of like loaded in a certain way? Makes me think of Helldivers and like the artillery shells that you launch. But when you put on the suit, you load the module with 3 potions, and whatever order you load those potions in is the order that they are sent to you. Then with that, we can kind of, I guess they could all just be greater healing potions, and you could just keep them as that, and that would be much need for choice and having to worry about picking them in the correct order. Gotta tinker with this one a little more. Do like it. Are you guys able to interact with Klaus? Because, like, when I first started with him, I didn't know what he was doing, and I couldn't interact with him at all. So I was like, "What the heck?" But it seems like he does things, so I'm not sure if that's you guys are doing things with him, because it's definitely not me. But he's doing things he's never done before. Anywho, all right, we got a good amount of items here. Oh, you just gave him a pat. Oh, that's awesome. I love Klaus. I have decided if I get a cat, I'm naming him Klaus. Because I don't know why, but that cat meant so much to me. I love that cat so much. Oh, man. Okay, I think, what other kind of sci-fi stuff? So I think we've got enough common items and non-attunement items. Life suit auto oil slipperiness application module still takes 10 minutes, but Mr. T can relax while the suit greases itself. I definitely think at the very least, common, I think having a life's potion. Let's call it a basic life suit. No. Basic potion module. This is where we say life suit module common. I'm gonna repeat this because I think I'm gonna make a line of items that are just, look at this. I might release a whole book of just life suit module items, just because I really like the idea of customizing your life suits. Because like I definitely would, like if I spend as much time in like No Man's Sky or like any other space game, like why wouldn't I also spend like time changing my life suit out? Like Ori got her own, like in her own custom color style. I know some of the other players did too. I think Dana did as well. So the yeah, so I like customizing the life suits, especially because there's like really not too much reason not to wear them all the time, even just with like your helmet off, you know. Like if you look at like most space shows and things like that, I honestly think compare it a lot to like in the military, like how many customizations would be available per life suit. I still have not figured that out yet. I'm honestly think I'm kind of tempted to say none. Like or maybe like the number of modules you can have is how much. Maybe you have to pay per module slot that you have in your suit. So like maybe there's no maximum limit, because I don't know like how many things can you possibly put on once I say that now, and I'm sure I'll eat those words later on. But also too, like do you want to invest this much into this life suit, which like could theoretically like be destroyed and like lose all these things in it, for an item that like maybe your character doesn't wear that much or doesn't wear that often. I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Maybe it'll be like 500 credits per module installation or module increase for a life suit, and then you just get like 5 at least. Sounds good. I just don't like having to keep more things to keep track of. That's my thing. Like, it's already hard enough to think of like how many items am I attuned to, how many potions do I have, where are those potions, what's in my bag of holding, what's not, and then to think of like also, yeah, I would say like that, like then that's tied to that suit forever, which is another like you could have multiple suits. Have one suit that's like your stealth suit or something. It's all black, and that's the one with your anti-gravity module and your life suit repair. And then you've got another that's like your more like a combat suit, and maybe that one has like a sturdy module that has like your life suit is more resistant to like area damage and things like that, or like any damaging effects that occur like against your life suit only occur if you fail the saving throw. Yeah, you already have 3. Like, so basic module push. When wearing when putting on the life suit, the wearer can insert a potion into the module. This potion can be applied while the life suit is worn. Applied isn't the right word. Taken. Used. Without hands. As a bonus action. That feels very common to me. I feel like the one we were talking about earlier was a little more uncommon, of like having multiple slots and stuff. Life suit coffee delivery system. Yeah, you guys are gonna basically, that's what the basic module is gonna be for you all. It's gonna be that essentially. Life suits for pets. Looking at Gary. Oh, I'm sure they've got plenty of those. For a weird moment, I thought you meant like life suit modules for your pets, so that they could like share your life suits with you. I was like, huh, I don't know if that'll work or not. But okay, any life suits for Android children? They don't need life suits. Okay, so we've got some life module stuff. We got a lot of common items. We got some uncommon consumable. Alright, any other ideas? Doesn't have to be common or limited to any of these items. Watson just clings inside the helmet. Yeah, I'm assuming he's in there like fog, like cleaning up the fog as it comes up. He's just like wiping it away, like. But yeah, I'm gonna get some water real quick. Know what ideas of what kinds of items you guys want to see, or what thoughts you've had, or even like questions you have like about items, and what like kind of thoughts go into making an item, or why certain items are okay and why some aren't, or what items you're on the lookout for. That's one thing I feel like players don't do enough of is like tell their DMs like I want this item. Like it leads to so much better stories. Virtual immersive adapter. Once per day, you may use your life suit as a full body interface for any computer, using full body tracking and heads up display feed interact as user inside. What the heck? Allows you to use a perception check in place of a hacking check. That is awesome. I just could have sworn though I wasn't sure where this was heading. If you were just making a virtual reality suit like from Sword Art Online, or we've been watching Shangri-La Frontier, which is like a VR game anime, which is kind of like that too. So I could have sworn you were gonna say like allows you to play some video game. Oh man, man, that's pretty cool though. That's a full body interface for any computer. All right, I'm gonna have to tinker with that idea because I don't know. This will be okay. I'm just gonna call this ideas. I think I could definitely do something with that, but I gotta tinker with that idea for a while because I like that. It's interesting. Probably be blinded on the outside, but able to use perception checks instead of hacking, or instead of data. Yeah, instead of a data check when hacking. When the dean obsesses with uSign VR. Yeah. That's the kind of hell that I feel like Mark Zuckerberg really wanted us to be in when he was like, yeah, everybody will be in the metaverse. And like, I guarantee you they imagined a world where we were like somehow still standing in line at a place waiting to speak to somebody in the VR world. So thank God that all crashed and burned. Okay, water. Okay, so I mentioned before, Dark Matters is releasing that, or is to be announced, that extra book. But they've got plenty of items. One of them that's really cool, the Ankh of Ra. You guys know of the Sun Staff of Ra, the Solar Wings of Ra. But they have more items of Ra as well that they haven't put out there. There's also spell hacks, which is one of the things that kind of added, that they're like a little bit like let's see, sequence spell hack. This is what I was talking about. Oh, 4th level invocation. Choose 3 spells of 2nd level or lower that you can cast that have a casting time of 1 action. That's one of those keyhole thingies, right? Yes. Do they have items of the void? They do have spells. Da-da-da. They have more gravity magic. So a variety of gravity spells. Gravity well, intensify gravity, zero gravity. Oop, ran out of music. Let's see. Destiny, Hyrule. So zero gravity spells, hard light and movable rod. Yeah, I do want to do more hard light stuff. Cause that I imagine that's like kind of like a Green Lantern kind of thing. Um, but the spell hack stuff is pretty interesting. They're basically like sort of spells that are almost like if you could sort of have meta magics. Um, let's see. I wish they had something that was hard, like 10-foot pole. Like a little button you press to raise a hard light. Pretty cool. All right. I'm gonna see if there's okay magic items rules. There we go. They have a dark matter character sheet revised, which is interesting. The way they have it all laid out. I wish we had so much more control over the way that our sheets were laid out in these websites. Because whoever designs them, they're just not. I don't know. I just don't know what they're thinking. But one of the things I saw here that was really cool: hard light space lifeboat, also very good. I think we have hard light items. Hard light 10-foot pole would be very practical because hard to carry around 10-foot pole. Yeah, it is. That's what I was saying. Like imagine like a little clickable, like click it out, add them. There was one thing they had that was really cool. Oh, feats for lovers, which is pretty awesome. Must be taken by 2 or more characters simultaneously. One of them is called Forbidden Love. When one of you takes the hide action while you are within 5 feet of a partner, both of you become hidden. So like these feats that are kind of connected to each other, I really like the ideas of these kinds of feats. So you'll probably be seeing some in some new training if anybody you will meet offers up some new training opportunities. But yeah, so we'll tinker with some hard light items, virtual immersions adapter. Also, can't forget the super peanut butter jelly sandwich that expands crit range. That one I gotta play with. There's definitely feats for platonic friends too. There's one feat that's called the feat of the oh man, hold on. Let's see. Oh, here we go. The feat of the boss and the goon. This one I love. When you choose this feat, one of you is the boss and the other is the goon. While the goon is within 5 feet of the boss can add the goon's strength modifier to any intimidation checks they make. Meat shield. When the boss is targeted by an attack, the boss can use their reaction to force the attack to target the goon instead. And minion inspiration. As a bonus action, the boss can grant the goon fleeting inspiration. Advantage on an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw it makes before the end of their next turn. So, platonic friends Eli and Oz need a dual tech. Are we just making Marvel Rivals hero combo abilities? I mean, I do love it. Like, this is why I mentioned it. In the last campaign, I had something like this with the one of the prestige feats was a spell casting kind of thing. I know Rob took it and tried it, but it was really hard to kind of actually pulled off. Um, though this one kind of sounds like it. How many goons are you limited to? Well, uh, the whoever takes this feat, when they take this feat, the other person is the boss. I suppose another person could take this feat to become the boon and make someone else the boss. I guess so. I don't see why not if you want to invest in it. Really protect somebody. um, yeah, Fina's like, you're all my goons now. But it would be really interesting. It would be pretty funny to see, actually. Kind of putting in some of like that goblin boss mechanics in there. But in the last campaign, I had something similar where like if someone within 5 feet of you was casting a spell, you could use your meta magic on their casting of it and modify it in some way to like empower it or do one of those abilities. You couldn't quicken it because it had to be something they've already cast. But I like abilities like that are a little bit more like the designated strike, no, coordinated strike, like abilities that are like kind of change how you approach combat. And that's what I like to look at with items too. The which I was looking at the champion fighter again. Holy cow, did that class get a buff? But it feels way more powerful, but it feels more useful too. Always two there are a boss and a goon. Yes, of course. And a master and apprentice. Yeah, that was on Alton's list. Yeah, but the super peanut butter jelly sandwich that Lou mentioned, I was just thinking, I was like, man, with a fighter, like they could get their crit range even higher. Holy cow, that'd be insane. But I like abilities and items and features that change how you approach combat, change how you decide to go about doing things. Like Rin has the pair of the blaster that he has to move at least 10 feet before taking a shot, or Mr. Marco has more goons than just Oz. Yeah, of course. But he has to move 10 feet before taking a shot, and so like that kind of then goes into his plan of like, okay, I've got to move 10 feet and then take a shot. If he moves 20 feet and then take a shot, he's kind of missing out on that +1 bonus. So it just changes how he's now approaching. Very rare consumable. Makes your next attack a hit. That's way strong. That's way strong. That's why it's a play on Breakfast of the Champion and spotting off a champion. Ah, I see. Okay. Always thinking 5 steps ahead, Blue. You are. We'll put that Breakfast of Champions. That's too big. Okay, I'm learning how this works. Very rare consumable makes your next attack a crit. That's hard. There's like so much things that can happen with that kind of thing that can be exploited. It could make it so that the next attack roll you hit. How about we do something more like whenever I'm trying to like make an item and I'm like, this sounds a little too strong, I think of what kind of restraints or constraints I could put on it that would then make it a little bit more tolerable. So if we changed it to whenever you land, so if we change it to the next attack you hit that exceeds the enemy's AC by 5 or more is a critical hit. Then that like decreases the math range, of like the guarantee that like We could be like, okay, great. Now we're gonna give this to Mr. T, and we're gonna empower his next strike, and we're gonna give him this potion of Hill Giant Strength to add more damage, and we're gonna enlarge him, and we're gonna put poison on his sword so that it's even more powerful. And then, you know, or whatever else we're gonna do to him, and then he lands that strike, and he's like, I'm gonna put, you know, my 4th level spell slot into this. Then at least like it takes away that guarantee, but still gives you a really good chance of getting a crit in the next few hits. So you could still do all those boons, all those buffs, but you wouldn't get the guarantee that you get that Nova that instant. So I'm thinking more like that. I don't know what we call this, critical meal for now. Next hit +5 enemies EC is a crit. I'll clean this up all later. So this is also why, like, sometimes when I'm making items or I'm giving you guys items, sometimes like this is all I've put in my note of like what the loot means, and I look at it and I'm like, I'm gonna have to expand on this a lot more, or like I mentioned before, like get to that verbiage of okay, this is how D&D speak is. Let me remember to put these things, because it's important to be clear. But hard light pool float, tadpole power right there. Hard light ring lets you integrate hard light spells with minor illusion or illusion spells. Oh, interesting. Well, isn't that kind of like the illusion classes feature, the one where you can make illusions real? I think. Let's see, subclasses. Is illusion, illusionist. Features. There's improved illusions, phantasmal creatures, illusory self, illusory reality. Level 14. You learn to weave shadow magic, giving your illusion some reality. When you cast a spell using a spell slot, you can choose one inanimate, non-magical object that is part of the illusion and make that object real. You can do this on your turn as a bonus action while the spell is ongoing. Interesting. Hard light ring that makes hard light bendable, but only half of the size. Makes it soft light. Interesting. Maybe something that can give it a little more. Hard light ring. Something that could give it a little more pliability. Okay. Oh, we've got a nice list of items here. This mixtape of sadness was already here, but I like this. Hard light wand that increases the strength of the light by 10%. I do like the idea of like a hard light ring. So like, oh no, one hard light ring that's like a regular hard light ring with one hard light ring that's like a hard light cosmetic ring, and this is just your hard light spells blink, or what are they, or pulse different colors. Yeah, we're gonna put that there. So whenever you cast some hard light spells, it becomes like a rave party. Yeah, brainstorming was fun. I love thinking of ideas. Especially like these light suit module things. I'm like, cool. Now we've got some common ones. Okay, I'm gonna expand on this. Come back with 20 more. Hard light raven, yes. Come back with like 20 more life suit module upgrades for you guys to get. But especially funny because like the other day, the purchase for the life suit modules, like we're not super consequential. And I really wasn't expecting anybody to buy any, and you guys were like, yeah, we want these, and I was like, Really? Wow, that's awesome. Always excited by stuff like that. Just to read more stuff that Maytime Press has put out of partner feats. One is called Halfling Hurler. When you and your partner choose this feat, the medium or larger creature is the thrower. The smaller one is the throwee. They can forego an attack on their turn to throw their partner, targeting an unoccupied space or a creature within 60 feet. 60 feet? That's crazy. They can do damage on a hit and things like that. But it'd be pretty interesting. For one, like Jan is already small size. So it'd be cool to do a fastball special with Jan. But also I could definitely see like this starting and then Jan turning into like a badger or like an armadillo and then like getting thrown. Yeah, exactly. But you know, yeah, I love all these little feats and things. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break. And I'm gonna try out Avowed. I won't be streaming that, but see how that's like. I mentioned Sleeper. What is it? Starbound? Nope. Sleeper Citizen. Citizen Sleeper 2. It's on Game Pass. Feels very much like it could be in the verse. I was like, wow, how did this not already happen? This is crazy. It gave me way new ideas of quests, ideas, and missions and things like that. The thing is, I think like keeps catching me by surprise. Obviously, it's a whole universe, but it really makes me surprised every time where I'm still like, man, I don't have enough time to like explore all the things I want to explore. Which is wild to say it with as much D&D as we play that I'm like, oh, but there's still so much to explore. Like, what about this place and that place? Oh man. But yeah, thanks for joining, everybody. It's been fun. Do this again soon. Definitely have another monster creation one too. Have you guys create some horrors, some monster ideas, and a variety of monsters like minions, scouts, blasters, tanks, you know, bosses and things like that. So that'll be fun too. That's it for me. Have a good night, everybody.